Yeah, Tony said last summer I went to Russia. I went to Russia on my motorbike with 11 other people on behalf of the charity Love Russia. Now, if the technology's working, some of you may already be aware of Love Russia. It's a charity that's run from Carisbrooke, and it supports young children in orphanages and other needy children in Russia. It's been doing this for about 20 years. And the thing that I'm talking about this morning is something called the Genesis Project. When this was born out of a need to do something, children that are in orphanages and other state institutions, and they're not all orphans, some of them are actually just disabled children. They're taken from their families because they're disabled, whether physically or even just got special needs and education. The state can take them away. And when they get to 16, they are made to leave the orphanage, and they walk out the door with what they're carrying. So you've got a 16-year-old walks out that door at Coppins Bridge now, what they're wearing, that is it. That's their equipment for the rest of their life. And government statistics for 2006 says that within 2 years, that's by the time they're 18, 40% of these people, these young people, are in prison. 40% are addicted to drugs or alcohol, and 11% commit suicide. Very, very few of the young people who leave the orphanages at 16 actually make it to the age of 30. It's an appalling statistic. Russia is a huge country, it's very, very rich, but it's also a country of huge contrast. I've been out there on a monitoring trip in the winter a couple of years ago, but I also went there last year. We rode across Europe to Moscow and St. Petersburg. In the cities, massive roads, massive buildings, huge garages selling all the latest BMWs, Mercedes, Hummers, all those sorts of things, and all the roads full of these massive multi-thousand-pound four-wheel drives, etc. Go out in the country, you see the little old lady in a headscarf with long skirt on the hills, shuffling down the road with a hand cart with some firewood or something else on. Black and white, very, very, very contrast between the rich and the poor. The Project Genesis has been running since 2000 or 2001. What it does, it takes these young people that come out of the orphanages and assists them through college so they can get an education and get a decent job and assimilate themselves into society with a hope of, not falling into the destitution that the majority fall into. Very closely monitored. The kids on the programme they're monitored every month. They have to reach set attendance, and they have to achieve the educational results that are expected of them to continue to get the money that's given to them to help them. A small number, when they first started, about 8 students. And there's 90 odd in 2010. And overall, I think the figure is something over 600 students have been assisted by this project, and they have a 95% success rate. And it costs Love Russia £55 a month, which is actually quite a considerable amount of money. Next slide, please. As Tony mentioned, last year, I don't know if you can see it very clearly, but that's a picture of us in Red Square in Moscow in 30-degree heat. Now, being British on motorbikes, we thought rain, cold, so big boots, leather trousers, heavy waterproof jacket. As soon as we got off the ferry in Holland, 26 degrees as we went through Germany, Poland, Lithuania, Latvia, etc. Into Russia, 30 degrees. 5 hours going through the Russian border from Latvia into Russia, no shade, 30 degrees, stood in the heat there, queuing up. I got through first, found this shade under this building, and there's a few more joined me, and then this little Russian border official in a shiny uniform comes on and screams some Russian at me, which basically meant go away, you're not supposed to be there, go and stand in the dusty lay-by in the heat. But never mind. We did 4,500 miles from St Thomas's Square and back again, or some of us. We left some people on there, because people from the mainland, so they went back to where they lived when they got back to England. But we raised over £26,000. This year, what I didn't raise very much of that. What we're trying to do this year, because that was a very, very big undertaking, very expensive for the people that took part. I may have actually just gave them the money I spent to get myself there, really. Over £600 petrol. This year we're going to start a smaller undertaking. We're going to go to Ireland in June, between the 1st and 6th of June, and we're going to do a clockwise circuit of Ireland from the southeast corner, which is going to be roughly 1,000 miles. And we're hoping there's 10 of us taking part, that we can get £1 a mile. That's
10. That's right. 10 times 1,000 times a pound.
Yes, £10,000. Yeah, hopefully.